after your last race, whatever distance that is, it is absolutely imperative that you take 2 weeks fully off. And that means, yes, you be a couch potato. You just focus on your work, focus on your family, focus on being with your pets, focus on being with your friends. Do all the things that you usually...
Focus on being with yourself in nature.
Yeah, focus on all the things that you don't typically get time to do when you're training the swim, bike, and the run. Welcome to the Bek and Siri show.
And here at Team Siris Tri Club, it's not just about swim, bike, run. It's about who you become. On our show, we don't just talk to you about swimming, cycling, and running.
We talk about mindset. We talk about fearless authenticity and being your very best self.
Hi there, Cam here from Team Siris. This week on the live chat, Siri gives us her secret sauce to help you rejuvenate and revitalise in the off-season, but at the same time, preparing for your next season. And don't forget, you can join these chats live by signing up to the club at teamsiristriclub.com.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Look who's back.
Welcome to the Bek and Siri show. We're so excited to spend this time with you. So we've got some great questions this week, and Bek and I are ready to roll.
We are, but I'm going to introduce, we actually have no new members to introduce this week, but we do have some amazing recaps from some races that I didn't recap last week, and some races to look at. There's a couple more. I think it's Ironman. Oh my God, I'm trying to think what it is. Is it Ironman Arizona that we still have left? I think it's Ironman Arizona we still have left this weekend.
And Cozumel.
Oh, Cozumel, yes, Kim.
And then Arizona.
Kim is racing Cozumel this weekend, one of my athletes. Then I don't have any more races at all this season, so that's a nice thought to have.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I've got Per Van Vlerken, is doing the race over there in Thailand, the Laguna Phuket Triathlon, so that's going to be exciting. Can't wait for him to race. And aside from that, we've got the race coming up in December, the one in California where Mary Carmen Farias is racing. So that makes for a long season for our athletes. And I know it's been, and Mary Carmen, if you're on the call tonight, I know it's hard when you have such a long season, when you're starting in like December or January and then going all through December. You really need to plan properly and give yourself permission to have like a week off twice throughout the year.
Let's stop there because we're going to talk about Siri, our really special time off. Excuse my wife's nose. She's actually got a little bit of a head cold. She hasn't been sick in 6 months. So that's why
I didn't realize I was talking
a bit of a blocked nose. But she actually did a keynote the other day and I said, you could hear your nose a little bit. And she didn't even notice it herself. So that's good.
Well,
that's
because
good.
I refuse to believe that I'm sick. So I tell Beck,
her
I'm
mom
not
used
sick.
to say, mind over matter.
I'm not sick.
Siri's
I am
arm would
absolutely
be
not
falling
sick.
off and Em would say, mind over matter. Hence why her very high pain threshold.
Which it works for me because 90% of the time I don't end up getting sick because I believe that I'm not. So I think there's a power to it.
It's just a blocked nose. We should give our chicken soup recipe after this
Absolutely.
Because people were asking about the off season, but can you give a little recap on what you do with your athletes? Because it's a little different to most because you really give them a decent break. And I know Troy was posting about this too. What's your secret sauce for the off season once their races are all
So I'm literally giving all our secrets away.
Yep.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, because people will try and copy it and it might not be the same effect.
Well,
so.
I hope they do because it's time. The secret to life is
giving.
The secret to living is giving. So yes, I am going to prepare you to have your very best race season ever if you haven't done this already.
Hi, Kath Carpenter. We love you.
Kath Carpenter. I hope you got my message. I sent you a message yesterday. Super important. Kath Carpenter, you guys, is one of the most beautiful souls I have ever met. So thank you, Kath. You are so thoughtful. Yes, amazing. So here we go, guys. I'm going to share my secret sauce over the last...
Wait, I'm going to do a drum roll.
19 years.
Wait, I'm going to do a drum roll. She literally has drums there, guys.
Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, so here's the secret sauce. I've been doing this for the past, I started coaching in 2003. It's now nearly 2020, so let's say 17 years. After your last race, whatever distance that is, it is absolutely imperative that you take 2 weeks fully off. And that means, yes, you be a couch potato. You just focus on your work, focus on your family, focus on being with your pets, focus on being with your friends. Do all the things that you usually...
Focus on being with yourself in nature.
Yeah, focus on all the things that you don't typically get time to do when you're training the swim, bike, and the run. Now, the way it should feel is after 1 week, my athletes are kind of going crazy, but it's mostly because they're obsessive and they feel like they should be training. Not that they necessarily want to be training, but they feel like they should be training. And I tell them, no, you've got 1 more week. So 1 more week of nothing. Yes, you can go out for a walk in nature. You can, go do active things, but absolutely no swimming, no biking, no running. And where you should be at the end of those 2 weeks is absolutely begging whoever is your coach to let you train, where you are so hungry to want to get back at it again that you are almost desperate because you want to, you miss it, you love it, and you haven't been able to do what you love. So at that point, then what we do is we move to doing 1 thing a day, maximum 1 hour for 5 days a week. The other 2 days are absolutely full days off where you focus on family, work, everything else. But on the 5 days, for the first 2 weeks, it's 1 hour of either swimming or you can go for a jog, but no watches, no Garmin's, no power, no nothing. And also, instead of swimming, biking, or running, I strongly encourage my athletes to go cross-country skiing or go skate skiing or go figure skating or go hiking or go to an aerobics class or do something different. Now, people are thinking at this point, oh my God, I'm losing all my fitness, everything I worked so hard for. Not true. You're going to lose a tiny percent. But what we're doing right now is that we are healing your body. We're rejuvenating your body. You're letting your body recover. You're thanking your body for all the hours and hard work that it's done for you. And what you're also doing is you are working up your hunger to train again, your hunger to be swimming, biking, and running again. You are building up your mental reservoir because at the end of a long season, mentally you're going to be spent. Mentally you're going to be a bit low. I call it your mental reservoir will be a bit low. So we're going to start filling up that mental reservoir.
So how do you fill up, Siri?
Oh my God.
I already know the answer to this.
I have.
This is a horse.
I fill up by being with the horses or being with our dogs or going out for a walk or reading an amazing book or learning something new. Mm-hmm. For me, when I'm doing any intense task, like say I'm spending a day writing up or spending a week writing up a 24-week Ironman plan.
Probably a month for you.
So I will take 2 hours and work really, really hard for 2 hours, and then I'll go out and I'll hang with the horses and lie in the pasture, maybe do some priming, but kiss on the horses and fill up so that my energy is topped off, and I come back in and I crank out another 2 hours where it flows. I feel my most creative. I feel energetic. I feel efficient, and I feel like I can deliver my best when I fill up. So if that's on an everyday basis, imagine saying thanks to your body by giving it the rest it deserves after a long season of training and racing.
And let me tell you, studies from the Institute of Sport have shown that after 2 weeks of nothing, you can lose 1 to 4% after 4 weeks of complete rest. I'm talking complete rest, sedentary style, like in front of the TV. 4 to 8%. It's not a lot. The most I would say you would lose in 4 weeks, they're saying, is absolute maximum 8%. So that's not a lot. And then it will take you between 4 to 8 weeks to get it back. So if you have 4 weeks off, it'll take you 4 to 8 weeks to get it back. Let's say 8 weeks max. It's not a lot of time.
Yeah, that's great information. The thing that you lose is your feel a little bit, but feel comes back so quickly.
And your six-pack.
And, well, you can still do your abdominal work and stuff if that thrills you.
Yep.
But it's the feel that kind of goes away. But after 2 or 3 days of being back in it again, that feel comes back so easily.
So true. And I know that with the swim block, everyone's starting to feel the water for the first time. Like, they feel their shoulders too, but feel the water.
Right. And so for those of you that are saying, well, why would I want to lose 8% if I don't have to? Well, the reason for that is that if you just keep training through, you're just going to reach a plateau. Yep. So what you're doing is through healing your body, through healing your mind, through giving yourself a rest, and through reconnecting with your passion for this sport. Like, what happens after those 2 weeks of nothing is that you are absolutely desperate to get back to doing what you love. And it reconnects you to why you do this in the first place. So all of these things are going to give you a foundation of health and strength and mental inspiration and inspiration from your heart that is going to lead you to being able to not only get that 8% back, but to be able to get so much more and take your performance to all new levels by having taken this rest. Now, I haven't finished though, because it's 2 weeks fully off. You go ahead.
I was going to add something that it also gives you time for your body. If there's any niggles, even ones you don't know about, it gives you that time off the pounding and the weight bearing off your legs, especially running, to give you that time off. And that's why we always start. I asked Siri, why do we use a swim block first? And she explained it. It's because over the long whole season that we all generally have, Bek and Siri's on.
Yay!
Woo! Our body's so trashed, there'll be little underlying niggles we may not feel, and that 4 weeks off, the 5 weeks sort of rest, and then coming into a swim block, it just gives you that extra time to really recover. So
absolutely.
So the 2 weeks off, now what do we do?
Okay, so you have 2 weeks fully off, nothing, nada. 2 weeks of one thing a day for 5 days of the week with 2 full days off. And that should be a maximum of 1 hour. And then you have another 3 weeks of the 1 or 2 things a day, 5 days a week of training, where the training intensifies a bit, but you still have those 2 days off every week. And this is the secret, guys. And during this time, the best thing that you can do during this time, if you want to stay connected to the sport, is get a bike fit. Find out what the right run shoes are for you.
Yep.
Make sure that you've got your pain cave all set for the coming year. You can get excited about things.
Get some videos of your swim, bike, and run technique.
Well, no, you can't do that because they're not training.
Okay, but on the 3rd and 4th week where they're doing one a day.
Oh, yes.
So they can put a video up like, I think it was Josh Stillborn put up, was amazing, and we were all helping him. His run technique looked great, by the way. Put it up and we can critique you guys, and I think it's really gutsy too. I have to give kudos to him for taking, being vulnerable enough to post up something. I mean, we're all family. We don't care what you look like, but we can always give you help.
And you know what's awesome about that, guys? When we're vulnerable, we are getting into a space where we can truly learn, grow, be creative, and do amazing things for ourselves that will take us further in our jobs or our lives or in the sport. So get vulnerable. It actually opens you up to being that much stronger in the future.
That will be a good one for the Bedhead Chronicles, I think, Siri. You should make note of that.
Okay.
Being vulnerable.
Yeah, well, there is a power to vulnerability, everybody.
I'm not very good at that, to be honest.
And
I like to show the tough exterior, but I know I'm softy on the inside, but I am not very good at being vulnerable.
And being vulnerable allows for deeper relationships, deeper trust. Imagine, have you ever met someone...
Oh my God, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Have you ever met someone that, doesn't get vulnerable? And so basically what you're seeing or what you're hearing from them is that everything is great. There's no problems. They're not scared of anything. They have no worries. And I had one person that I met where I had kind of shared my whole story and I was getting really vulnerable. And in return, it was kind of like, I don't have any fears, I don't have any problems. And I felt like I was standing there naked, having kind of bared my soul, and they didn't give anything in return. And that led to a lack of trust on my part, lack of trust for that person.
It stops you from wanting to share more.
Stops me from wanting to share. Yeah. So be vulnerable in your relationships. Be vulnerable with your coworkers. Be vulnerable with your boss even. Help them get to know you better. By being vulnerable and being brave enough to be vulnerable, you are allowing yourself, that's what leads to creativity and becoming all of what you can be. You have to get vulnerable if you want to be able to truly create to the extent that we all dream of doing in our
You know what
lives.
this reminds me of as kind of an example to the extreme is our beautiful trainer Katie Donnelly has been vulnerable enough with our little Horus Angel, and Angel's allowed herself to be vulnerable enough. She now lies down, and it is one of the biggest ways to accept, her exception of a connection and being vulnerable. She lies down and she lets Katie lie on her while she's lying down. That is like, that epitomizes vulnerability. Like animals are, and they're flight animals. So I was like, wow, that is the biggest indication of a trusting like connection between these two. It was amazing. It was so amazing.
Amazing. And the beautiful thing about that, Beck, is for Angel, for her to be able to let down her guard and fully trust and be able to take a deep breath and fully trust and surrender to Katie. Imagine how that feels for someone or an animal that always has their guard up. Mm-hmm. How good does it feel to finally surrender and let go and trust, and to feel the depth of that bond, the depth of that feeling or emotion in that moment. So it's beautiful for everyone involved.
And in case you missed it, this is a Horus, guys. So little Angel was saved off the feedlot at 2 weeks old, and we were told she wouldn't survive. So she's just epitomizes everything we're about. She's
beautiful, and she is becoming the most incredible horse.
She sees Katie and she gets so excited.
Yeah, it's amazing. You'll all have to come visit here one day and experience the magic at Believe Ranch and Rescue.
Look at Believe Ranch and Rescue's Facebook. There's a video on there, and I think it's on Instagram too, of her lying down with Katie lying on it with her.
Hey there, Cam here again. I just wanted to jump in and thank one of our partners, Rudy Project. Rudy Project have been a partner of the club from the very beginning, and as a club member you can get access to up to 40% off their awesome gear, including their sunglasses and their helmets. To get that discount code, all you need to do is log into the club platform, go to the discounts menu item, and grab all the information you need to access those benefits. And if you're not a club member, you can join the club anytime at Team Siris. tryclub.com.
But anyway, I was reading just now Nancy P, who's always up for our training plans. She has this is hilarious because it's exactly how we work. She's saying she's using my swim block, my 4-week swim block, to warm up for Siris' epic, massive block. And that is the truth. That is truth.
Nancy,
so I thought I was
amazing.
going hardcore, and I had some of my athletes that need to kind of step up a bit. Say, oh my God, 30K. They were freaking out, and I was like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because Siri has literally got 100K weeks for some of her guys sometimes.
But so, Nancy P, I tell you what, I love that you are warming up for that, and I know you can do it.
I love that I'm only the warm up. Jeez.
It is going to be the most satisfying, rewarding thing you've ever done, and you're going to feel like a freaking superwoman, and I know you can do it. So if you need any help along the way or any encouragement, call me. I've done it myself. I know what it feels like, and I know that it literally changed my career in triathlon because it took me to a whole new level of fitness, mental toughness, and ability.
You were doing like 100K a week, right?
Yeah.
She was doing minimum like 10 to 15K.
Totally worth it.
That's what swimmers do anyway. Vonzi's saying thank you, and this is for a lady who did not like to have time off, or didn't have much time off ever. She's unreal. More sub-9s than anyone in the entire universe. It's crazy. But
I truly believe one of the greatest athletes this sport has ever seen.
She is, for me, the greatest European athlete, female athlete.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, because her personality too. I think if
I
we
love
did a
you
poll,
so much, Vonzi.
If we did a poll, no matter on results, if it was based on like overall as a human being and an athlete, Yvonne van Vlerken, hands down.
And consistency at every single
and
distance.
Beauty.
And Vonzi, I have to admit, I know a few months ago I said that I had a present I was trying to send you.
Can I show her how big it is?
And yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to go get this.
And I was planning on sending it to you, but you were all over the place, flying from one place to the next, and you said there's really no place that you can send it to. Because we're traveling so much. So I kind of kept it here.
Just FYI, this is why she didn't send it, Bonzi.
This is your present, Bonzi.
It's this big.
And so I'm trying to figure out this is basically this gift, everybody, is to celebrate the amazing career of this unbelievable athlete. Yvonne van Vlerken, if you don't know about her career results, look them up. Whether it's on my website, her website, you can look it up anywhere.
World
but
championships, world record, world number one.
And
fastest in the world and more sub-9s than anybody in the world. Just to wrap it up briefly.
And so, Vanzi, I have had the joy, the pleasure, the gift of being your coach over the last, my God, how many years has it been? 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to celebrate not only your entire career, but our career together. So that's what this gift is. I might just put it up on my own wall to celebrate you every day.
I think you shouldn't show her. Why don't you open it?
We might do that.
While I ask you these questions, why don't you open it? Okay. Or then if you do want to send it.
We'll do it next week. We'll
we're going to
reveal
open it. Okay, we've got to move on because we're getting a
Yes.
little stuck down here. But Vonzi, we love you. Thank you for being on.
And Pear as well. Pear, good luck this weekend.
One question Yvonne asked, I think it's a good point, is how do you convince these age groupers to do that? Because a lot of them will go off and do sneaky stuff and then wonder why they're kind of flat going into the season, or they hit a March, April and say, oh, I need time off, or they get injured. Like, how do you convince them? Like, this should be the perfect example when 3 top coaches are telling them and all your best athletes do it. But how do you convince them?
I just say this is what I've done for the last 17 years. And you look at the results that my athletes have had consistently year after year after year, and the very few amounts of injuries that my athletes have had. And the proof is in the pudding. But here's the thing, guys. If you can't, it takes more strength to not train sometimes than it does to train. So if you want to get stronger mentally and feel more in control of your path, your journey through this sport, then you need to find the strength to be able to do what's right for your body, what's right for your mind, and what truly is going to allow you to break through to the next level. Because if you're not willing to rest, you will not. You may get a little bit better every year, but if you want those monumental improvements every year, you must take this rest. Not should, you must take this rest. And the thing is that if you do have a coach and your coach has told you to rest for 2 full weeks and you haven't done that, let them know. Because what happens is that if you're secretly going about doing this training and then you get back into training again and things just aren't going the way that we as your coaches expect them to, because we know that you should feel refreshed, you should feel inspired, you should be actually feeling amazing after this rest when you get back to training. And if you're not, then we start thinking, my God, what's gone on here? Let's figure out what went wrong with this. When what we don't know is very important, that you've actually been training through the rest, and that's why you're not recovered. That's why you're not excited. That's why you're not inspired. So be honest. If you can't be true to this rest and recovery, at least let your coach know so that we can be aware of the fact that you didn't have the strength to go through with taking 2 weeks fully off. I hate to say it, but that's what it is. Mental strength, and you need to thank your body. I'm sorry I'm being hard here, but your body deserves thanks. You need to give it time off. You need to let it recover. You need to let it build back up again. And you need your mind to want to get back into it 1,000,000% and be hungry.
Okay,
again.
if that hasn't convinced you, then you may be in the wrong tribe here. But thank you, Siri. Good. Okay, now I'm saying hi to Martin because he's so sweet. He said, thanks for all the awesome coaching.
Hi, Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, first question is regards to breathing, and I'm thinking they're talking about in the pool. So technically, breathing in the pool, or the technical side of it, I can probably go first with this, but I think the big tips are, for me, are putting your head down. I read somewhere about someone breathing out all the air when your head's down. Now, I think at some point, you have to realize that with breathing in when you're in the water and your head's under, you have to try and make it as simple and as with less anxiety as possible. And to do that is to just try and breathe like you're on the land. And I remember I used to try and gasp and get air in as quick as I can and breathe out as much as I could. But then I realized that this was only the last 5 years, that you really have to try and relax when you put your head down. Breathe out slowly. Start breathing out when your head goes down. And everyone's a little bit different. I used to do a little extra, as I turned my head to breathe, but I was never pushing out all my air. And when I breathed in, I just turn my head and relax it to the side, almost 9 and 3. When I tell people breathe to 9 and 3, it's like you're looking to 9 and 3 o'clock. And that way, then you're only rolling your head side to side like that to breathe. That's a really good way to practice, because generally people look too far back or too far forward. And if your head's down where it should be, straight down to the bottom or 3 or 4 feet in front, all you want to do is roll it. And when I say 9 and 3, I mean 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock on the hand clock. What's that? What are those clocks called?
Yeah,
You know
on
what
a
I mean.
hand clock.
Yeah.
And I love that, but can I add one thing to that? Like, that's brilliant advice. Now, do you all know how sometimes, like, you'll be doing a drill and you feel like your coach or somebody on deck says, go wider. I want you to feel like you're swimming with your arms all the way out here, nice and wide. And they change and it's still totally narrow, but in their mind, in your mind, it feels like your arms are all the way out here, like totally wide, but you've really only moved about an inch. So I like to exaggerate when I'm giving these tips. That 9 and 3 is an amazing tip. But what I often do is I will say 1 and 11 instead, so that probably that's going to end up leaving. No, but only because, and this is just.
But this also depends where their head is in the position at that point.
But I'm saying they'll end up at 9 and 3.
I know, but if the person's actually looking back like that, or too far forward, then you'd have to change.
Okay, if it was if it was too far forward, for sure I wouldn't. Then I would probably
I'm
say.
still sticking with my 9 and 3.
No, and I love that. So either way, if you're someone, and Beck, like, that's incredible advice. I'm saying that's incredible.
Well, you told me 11 and 1 because I used to look too far back.
Right.
Okay, so listen to this. If it's too far, if you're looking too far back, I would go with Siri. I would say 11 and 3 because then you're going to
11 and 1.
11 and 1 because then you're going to hit 9 and 3. That's what you're saying.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And if they're too far forward, looking too far forward, you would say more than 9 and 3 because then they're going to hit.
Then I'd probably say 5 and 7.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Does that make sense, everybody?
I would agree. I have to look at a clock to work that out.
Yeah. So we're talking about the face of a clock, guys.
We'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to agree.
But you guys, Beck, with her swim tips, I would listen to every single word that she says, because this woman went from being about the same caliber as me when I was racing World Cup.
You still came out first.
Well, no, towards the end I did, but more like in those years where I was coming like top 10, and was then starting to lead out swims in every 70.3 and Ironman races. Like, Beck, this is someone who was so determined to take her swim to the next level, was willing to change her stroke that was leading her to decent swims, but was willing to change it, believing that it would take her to the front, which it did. So I'm so proud of you, Beck.
Well, I want to tell them, after 15 years in the sport, when I came to Siri, I'd been doing it for 18 years, actually. 17 years. And Brett had me swimming really long, slow stroke, or for me was longer stroke and breathing to one side. He felt like for me as a strong athlete with good catch and really tall and long arms, my wingspan's pretty good, that would work. And he tried for a while and I didn't really improve at all. I actually went backwards. So when I came to Siri, 3 things I did. One thing was increase my stroke rate. She had me and poor old Leander Cave. We were doing we started with 25 25s and we went to 50 25s and 75 25s and 100 25s and 200. One day we did 200.
Michelle Bremer, 200.
225 meters, all 3 fast, 1 easy on the 30-second cycle. And that just made me, I was able to hold that stroke rate over longer sessions. So if you're having trouble with your stroke rate and you say, I remember Leander saying, I can't hold that for 3.8 kilometers, and we both ended up doing it, and Leander improved her swim, and she was already a beautiful swimmer.
Yeah.
So we were doing that fast stroke rate, lots of fast 25s to get used to your stroke. Then we incorporated the longer stuff, keeping that stroke, and bilateral breathing were the 3 things. And
I just thank you for, going with it and not complaining. And
I was complaining under the water, don't you worry.
No, but you never did.
Finger under the water.
But I think you believed that I would never do something like that if I really didn't believe that it was going to take you to the next level. So I thank you for trusting me, because I was so incredibly proud of you in how you took your swim literally to the front pack and leading the front pack. And Leanda, I'm so proud of her for being willing.
Because I remember her saying, I don't really need to improve my swim. And you said, yes, but if you do, you're going to get on the bike with a lower heart rate, less lactate, and you're going to be able to ready to hammer that bike. And that actually did improve her bike a lot.
And that led to her winning not only 70.3 World Championships in 2012, but 5 weeks later, the Ironman World Championship. So,
boom,
guys, it pays off sometimes.
She must be one of few that have won 70.3 and Hawaii Ironman at the same time. I think Daniela did it, but the only other female I can think of is Leander.
Yeah, me too.
Go the bird.
So I'm so incredibly proud of her. And guys, in a lot of things in life, think about it. We often say, "Oh, I'm good enough. I know how to do that. I can do that." And it's like, okay,
There's
but
always
what are
room
your
for growth.
standards? Like, do you want to just do it good and keep doing it good? Or do you have your sights on doing it great? Because sometimes you may have to make a shift in order to go from good to great, or as we would say, Beck, going from great to outstanding, because great will really only get you good results nowadays.
Yeah.
And outstanding will get you
excellent.
great, excellent results. But so you need to think about this. Sometimes, you know, we will change your running gait or we will change your swim stroke. And it's up to you. Is it worth it to you to go, to take a chance changing your stroke or changing your, technique to go from good to great or from great to outstanding? And sometimes you got to take that risk. And in my experience, those risks always pay off.
Thank you. I did pay off because I remember leading out the World
Hawaii.
Champs a
I've
few-
never
few
been so
years later,
excited.
but I don't want to talk about me. So let's go to.
I do. I was
No,
standing
Siri,
out.
stop.
Okay.
No, they've heard this before. Come
Okay.
on. Okay. So
I was so excited.
I stopped. Oh,
She
thank
led
you for being
the
so nice.
Hawaii Ironman out, you
Okay.
guys, in 2012.
Yeah, it's only because I literally nudged poor Jodie Swallow
No.
in the chest as I exited the water.
I was
Otherwise
at
she would have
mile
left. No,
one, and I saw Rebecca Keat, who I was very quickly falling in love with, leading the whole entire Hawaii Ironman, and I've never been so proud. So
pretty cool.
that was an amazing
But
moment.
anyhow, the next question, Maddie Pash. I stole the spreadsheet and looked at some of our topics because I think this is a great one. How to train for hilly courses. Now, I had someone today, and I can say his name because he probably doesn't even watch this. It wouldn't matter if he did. But Leo was saying to me he's worried that he's going to lose strength and he isn't able to capitalize on the training because he doesn't have hills, and he feels like he's losing a bit of mobility, stability, strength work because he can't hit that bigger gears, on his trainer, which is not true. Wahoo Kicker or whatever you're on, you can absolutely reach that. I think you just have to fiddle with the actual resistance. But anyway, to say that, how can we train for hilly courses? So of course there's an answer to that. I mean, Lionel Sanders trains on the trainer in his entire life, so you can use obviously resistance for the bike, staying in your bike seat, seated, climbing position, time trial position on your bike, seated climbs like with really high resistance. Don't look at the power numbers, just look at your cadence. But running, you can use the treadmill and you can do incline session on the treadmill. So Siri, let's hear what you have to say about that, because I totally believe that it doesn't matter where you live, you can actually you can replicate it.
Absolutely. So
inside.
I will go back to 2004, training two athletes for the Olympics, Loretta Harrop and Susan Williams. And both of them were using the CompuTrainer at that time. And they both had got the Athens Olympic course. And we couldn't really figure out how to set up the course and all the adjustments on it. Loretta had just lost her brother Luke he was hit and killed on his bike by a car, and she didn't want to do a lot of riding outside, so we did all her training on the CompuTrainer, and I was having Susan do the Athens course once a week.
So wait, Loretta got silver and Susan got a bronze.
Yes.
In the same year, and you were coaching both of them.
2004.
Okay, I need to repeat that because I don't know even if I knew that it was the same
Yes,
Olympic.
but thank you.
So
Becky.
wait, no, Athens Olympics, guys, 2016? No,
2004.
2004, Loretta Harrop got silver, and the girl who got bronze was Susan Williams. Both series was looking after both of them. Boom!
Okay, but
That's amazing.
Loretta,
I don't know
hold
anyone who's
on.
ever done that.
So Loretta had been coached by Brett Sutton for her whole career. She had just left Brett a year earlier, so I attribute most of that to Brett and his work with her. But
You were guiding her.
We were
You were
collaborating.
doing some training.
We were collaborating, and I was overlooking her plan and basically training her up for that race.
And
but
you were
I
best
cannot
friends.
take all that.
Okay,
credit.
but maybe just as a friendship to have you there as a best friend the whole time,
Right.
right?
But Susan Williams, on the other hand, was
Boom.
yeah. So I am very proud of that.
To
That
get
was
a
amazing.
silver, and you won a bronze. That's amazing.
Excuse the coughing, guys. So, anyways, I had them doing once a week the Athens course on the CompuTrainer. Now, all I know is that the first few times of them doing it, it was so incredibly hard that they would get off. I'd always have them run 5K hard off the bike. And it was so hard that for the first few weeks, they couldn't even get through the 5K. Their legs were so trashed. And we kept thinking, my God, this course is going to be absolutely like horrendous how hard it is. Like they couldn't even, one week they ran like 3K off, the next week 4K, the next week 5K. Finally, they were getting their legs. But
what was
basically,
the course like? Because I know people don't know the Athens course. Wasn't the hill like
it was very, very steep.
And 4 laps?
4 laps.
It was really hard.
But
like
what happened here, guys?
Let me just tell you what, do it justice. One, running out of hill gear at the top of the hill, some of the girls had to zigzag. Like it was, you're in your like 25.
Yeah. And then a very steep descent after that, which Ellie Salthouse would have loved with a sharp left-hand turn at the bottom, which Susan Williams crashed at the bottom of the hill on like the second lap.
And got back on
her bike and continued to win the bronze medal. It was unbelievable. One of the best days of my career. For sure.
That's amazing.
But anyhow, guys, so every week they were doing CompuTrainer, the Athens course with a 5K hard run off the bike. Now, what we realized, because they get to Athens and both of them said, oh my God, this course is nothing like what I was doing on the trainer.
I thought you said, oh my God, I want the front seat, but she didn't do that.
This was nothing like what we've been doing on the CompuTrainer. So basically, we must have adjusted the CompuTrainer. It must have been where it was a lot harder than what the actual course was.
Well, that's good.
The great thing about that, they both crushed it because they'd been preparing on something way harder. And when it got to race day, it was this pleasant surprise, which I think the taper and everything had something to do with that. But they just absolutely crushed that course. So yes, to answer your question in a very long way, you can absolutely get hill training done on a turbo when you live somewhere flat. Of course, you want to get out on the road and practice your turns and stuff like that.
You can still do that.
Descending, okay, maybe, you won't be able to practice your descending. Mm-hmm. And that would be worthwhile driving a couple hours away on a weekend and riding a hilly course or going somewhere, practicing your descent. But that's something that you just need to commit to and make time for. But as far as building strength and preparing for a hilly course, 1,000,000%, not only can you do that on a turbo, but sometimes I believe it's actually even better.
I think you can make it harder.
Yeah. So if I had an athlete training for the Olympics on a course like Athens again, and they said, I don't want to go out on the road, can I do everything on the trainer? I would have 1,010% confidence that we can crush that course training on the turbo.
Were the girls doing criteriums to practice their bike skills, or they were already natural with their bike skills? Because I know
neither of them were.
So they must have been. I know Loretta practiced her bike skills a lot because I used to train with her back in like 99, and her skills were atrocious. And then she got really good. So she obviously been. I mean, she was riding in the Swiss Alps, so you're bound to get good.
Yeah, and Susan Williams had great bike skills. So I know earlier on, Susan was doing a lot of criterium stuff with the U.S.
scare
team.
Yourself into that.
Yeah, like they training at the Olympic Training Center. I think she trained there for a while. She was practicing that. You definitely, the things that you're not confident in, guys, you need to practice them. Okay, you don't just push it aside and say, oh, I'm not confident in that, so I won't do it, because that will come back to haunt you. So what I've always done as an athlete, and what I encourage all my athletes to do, and Beck, I know you do this, the things that you're not confident with, those are the things you pinpoint, target, and get after until you're confident, until you know that it is now a strength, not a weakness. You must make your weaknesses your strengths by facing them head on and embracing the fact that you get an opportunity to get better at these things and enjoy the incredible reward of actually making that happen.
Yeah, and I've got an example because 3 of my guys that are not swimmers, it's probably their worst leg, were not excited about the swim block. They were they were excited but nervous, but one of them actually said, I'm not looking forward to this. And they said, oh, I'm really nervous. And I thought, this is either going to break them or make them. And 2 so far, especially Maria, she has got like 10 seconds off her 100 now. And she really sees the benefit on it. So, and Adam as well. I'm so proud of them because I really think they've stepped up. And I know it's something they really didn't want to do, but you actually do. You asked Mary Carmen. She hated swimming. Yeah. And now, look
Mary Carmen did such an amazing job with that every year. Maddie Pesh did such an amazing job. Yeah. Troy Romero, amazing job with it. Claire Bruce, who I'm coaching right now. I don't know if you're on, Claire, but she's having PBs like she just had an amazing PB, something she never thought she could do in the pool.
Yep.
So it pays off, guys.
Wait, what about strength running for running? Strength if they don't have heels, I forgot to ask you.
Treadmill,
yeah.
incline sets.
Yeah, so,
absolutely.
Exactly. So let's give them a really quick, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but we forgot to say if they're living in, say, Miami, it's dead flat. I know Maria runs on a bridge at 6%, which is better than nothing for sure. But you can, I wouldn't do more than one a week, 1 or 2 a week on the treadmill. But if you did an incline set, like we have a great one that's like 5 to 10 minute warm up, then some turnovers, like 5 by 15 seconds fast, 45 easy. And then we start at like 3% for 3 or 4 minutes. And then we go to 4%, 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. And we start like at 4 minutes at the lower grade. And then we go up to 1 minute at like 10 to 12%. Some can even get to 15. And then we go back down and do a pyramid. And you do that once through the first time. You can try twice through the second time, and then 3 times through. And you have like double the recovery. So that's a good incline set. But just even like 3 by 5 minutes at like a 3 or 4% to build into that. Because I think if you're not used to hills, you want to start, below the 6%, or it could be too much on your calves.
Yeah, and definitely
build into it.
Definitely build into it. So I would build into it kind of the way you're saying, Beck, and then to really kind of pinpoint, a race situation, you want to do some paced efforts on rolling hills on the treadmill. And then I would say the ultimate strength builder is doing a long run
outside
uphill. Like I have my athletes run 15 miles
run.
from the bottom to the top of a mountain here.
Oh, you guys that know Left Hand Canyon, it was so fun.
Amazing.
Like me and Rennie and the girls, I remember Mary Beth Ellis used to do it. You'd drop us off at Left Hand Canyon, we'd run left up to, what was it called? Towards Ward.
Yeah.
And it's 15k uphill, but it felt so good.
Amazing. Yeah. And that is the best way. And so if you live in Florida, you live somewhere flat, you get on your treadmill and you just have fun with the incline, but make sure you are going uphill the whole entire time for an hour 15, an hour 30. Now, the only time you should definitely not do this is if you have plantar fasciitis, I did it anyway, calf issues, okay, hills, Achilles. Or speed, when you have Achilles problems, calf problems, or plantar fasciitis is a kiss of death. So if you want to be
ITB
getting strong at running hills, then get healthy first before you do this stuff. And if you ever are just sore in the calves, slow. I would wait a few days to do your hill session, wait for your calves to be loose again, and then do the hill session, but never take on something like that if you have something sore before going into it.
Yeah. And I would say if you don't, but you're prone to it, like my calves, I would build into it gradually, like start at a lower grade, like 3-4%. Mary Carmen just said she's never done that. Mary Carmen, I will agree to do that with you. Let's do a 15k run up there in the next few weeks.
It's time.
I will join you as long as you wait for me. Let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll be there.
It's really good when you have a wife that can pick you up at the top. Siri does not recommend running down the hill, guys. That's one thing, because that actually hurts you more.
Yeah,
so
good.
You've got to park one car up the top, drive back down, and make sure that you can drive back up to your car. Drive back up to your car so you're not running down.
You just run to the top and have someone pick you up, but do not run down. That also is a kiss of death, because a lot of us don't have perfect downhill run form, and we break, and the cramping and the injuries that can be created after running long uphill is just not worth it. So make sure you get a ride home.
I think we're done, but I really wanted to mention you guys, like, don't forget, if you've been a member for 6 months, we're going to send you a free visor. And if you've been a member for 12 months, we're going to send you a free visor if you don't have one yet, you should have a free training plan. So it's like the $525 valued premium training plan. So we're sending that to you. And you can gift that to people too, guys. We can PDF it so you can gift it. So that's our little thank you. Actually, it was Siris' idea to thank you for being part of our family. We wanted to give our value back, and we figured if you've been for a member for a year, you spent over $444 on a membership, so we're going to give you $525 value. So I thought that was a really cool way to say thank you, and that was my wife's idea. So thank you,
thanks,
Siri.
Beck. Well, I want to say to all of you guys that if you are a member now, you know what we send you every single day? Much love and so much appreciation. We are so grateful for this incredible tribe. And we love you all so much. And it's just an absolute privilege to see all of you thriving within this club, and just creating great memories with all of you.
And don't forget our camp, guys. January 4th and 5th here. We're doing a welcome dinner on the 3rd, but we're also doing a dinner on the 4th. And they're included in the costs. And you're going to get over $1,000 of value, because we're going to give you a year's free membership. We're going to give you a training plan that you can also gift to other people. So it's about $1,000 value. Plus, we're going to give you a swag bag from Roca, Rudy Project, some little goodies there. And F2C fueling is all going to be included. So the value is already way above what the camp cost is. And we're half full. Actually, we're almost 2/3 full. And if you're a platinum member, so if you're coached by any of the top coaches, Mary Carmen, me, Karen, Siri, or Maddie,
Troy,
we have a special rate for you guys too. So please reach out to me if you want that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Vonzi. If they'll come from your... Hey, Vonzi, how about you and Pear come? It's time we get to see each other. I miss you. Okay, everybody, thank you. Have an amazing
and thank
week.
you, Siri, for being on, because we know how busy she's been, and I know you guys really miss her. So I brought her back even with her poor head cold and sinusitis. So
no, but you guys, how amazing is my wife, Beck? Okay, no. I want to say that I appreciate this woman more than anything on the planet. She is my everything, and Beck, you've done the most tremendous job at this club. I'm so proud of you,
of us.
And I just think we've got the greatest thing going here, everybody. So thank you. You are what makes this incredible, and we love you. Thank you.
We love you guys. Thank you. And Dan Mascarella, always glad to get some Bek and Siri love. Love you both. Thanks for everything. You guys make us better people and better athletes. That's
thanks,
awesome.
Dan. We're going to end on that. Thanks,
love
everybody.
you guys. Thank you.
Hey there, Cam here again. Thanks for listening. If you want to sign up to the Tri Club, you can get great discounts from our partners like Rudy Project. To get joined up, you can go to teamsiriustriclub.com. Otherwise, see you again next week.